to the last. If that answers your question.
Thanks for the
Please.
Anand?
Sanjeev, I go across the country training police on gender and children, right? And then during my trainings, I have occasions to meet with the police officers and share with them how they feel about the injustice prevalent in the system within the police, how they are supposed to follow the command. They feel guilt, and they carry that guilt all the time. But then either they are not strong or they do not have any occasion to stand up and say. In your case, how many years? 8 years? To speak up?
Let
me finish. So
7 years. I want to correct you.
Yeah, I don't know exact time, but then it took a lot of time. And I also can understand the kind of internal struggle you might have gone through during all this time. So I would just like you to explain and talk about it.
Okay.
What were your answers about it?
There was no internal struggle at any moment at all. Not in 2002, not in 2009, not today. I was very clear then, I'm very clear now. 2002, I was with the Intelligence Bureau. When the riots took place, that was my 3rd year in the Bureau. I was the oldest serving officer there. And when things happened on the 27th, by evening when I came out with the instructions of the CM 27th meeting, I was so sure things are going to go very, very wrong. So that is where I started documenting things. My DG then was Mr. Riger. We did our job in 2002. I continued in the Intelligence Bureau till September 2002. And we documented everything which was required to be documented. We sent out all the advisories which had to be sent out as intelligence officers, because there your role is different. As a jurisdictional officer, you take action. As an intelligence officer, it's an advisory role where you obtain, collate the intelligence and pass out the action of the intelligence and advisories, and you create reports, send reports to the central agencies, the NHRC and whosoever calls for the report.
But you also did dirty work as in Malika's case.
I'll come to that. That will be a separate question.
Yes,
I'll definitely come. Yeah. So we kept on doing our job then. And in September 2002, me and my then boss, my earlier boss, J.C. Riker, was replaced by Mr. R.B. Srikumar in the month of April. By the 8th or 9th of April, he came and joined us because they found Mr. J.C. Riker was not conducive. So they tried to get someone who was more conducive to the government. So at the recommendations of someone in the central IB who was in cahoots with Modi, they got R.B. Srikumar. And they eventually found me to be as bad or worse. So on 17th September, by a midnight order, the two of us were transferred out. We got the orders at 1 a.m. in the morning, served to us, saying that we have been unilaterally relieved from the bureau. You don't even need to come back to pick up your belongings, they'll be delivered to you. Instead of all put in the box and sent to us. They didn't even want us to go back to the bureau because they are afraid that we might take out more documents or material. So that was my tenure in the IB. 2002 was a time when, by that time, I put in about 14 years of service, 13 years of service. I had been brought up with a set of values. I come from a very, very secular family. I went to the most secular of schools, went to the institutions where you never thought of caste, community, color, creed. And then joined the police with a passion. I had All India rank 35. I could have opted for any service of my choice. Police was the only choice. I went to the police. And I served in my own way. I take pride in every decision I took till date. I take pride in the way in which I served in the districts. And all of a sudden in 2002, you see everything you stood for all your life till then being turned on head. The state which to your mind, the constitution which to your mind is sacrosanct. You believe in secularism, you believe that yes, the role of the police as an organ of the state is to protect life and property at any cost, uphold the law at any cost, including personal cost. But then you see that all of a sudden the state is not only abdicating its duty, you see the state completely complicit in destruction of life and property. So that is when I withdrew myself mentally from the IPS fraternity of Gujarat, because I did not want to belong to that band of eunuchs. I'm sorry I'm insulting eunuchs by using that word. I would say that band of castrated bandicoots. That is when I withdrew myself, and I had to wait for my time. I sent out feelers to friends that get me called. There are friends in this room also who can vouch for that. I sent out feelers that please get me called. Is Mr. Sinha around? He is left, okay. You would have vouched for that. I sent out feelers, repeated feelers, get me called before the Commission of Inquiry or anywhere, because I know so much. But for some reason, see, there is a lot of, even amongst the NGOs, there is a lot of territorial, there is a lot of jurisdictional issues involved as to who does what and who takes credit for what. So even Mr. Mukul Sinha, though he was approached so many times by common friends, including journalists, he chose not to call me for some reason of his own. Because he was the one who was conducting the proceedings at the Nanavati Commission. 2011, when I eventually had to bring out certain aspects of the SIT's functioning, and I filed the affidavit to the Supreme Court. And it became public on a particular day. I think about 8 days after I filed it. On the same evening, I received a call from Mr. Mukul Sinha. That is the very first time we ever spoke. His office, the HRLN office, is just across my house. There is just a lane in between, 20 feet of space, my house and the HRLN office. Mr. Sinha used to come there quite often, with other friends also, and that was the hub of activities who were espousing the cause of the victims. But he had never met all those years. I might have seen him and waved like that while going out or coming into my house. So on that day he speaks with me and says that I'm Mukul Sinha. I said, I know you, and I'd like to meet you. That is when we meet for the first time. So he tried to contact the common friend through which I had approached him a number of times. A friend by the name of Stavan Desai. You know, you might be knowing him. He was a journalist in Ahmedabad who had covered all these issues. And some other friend. But he spoke with Stavan and said that Stavan, what you were saying was right. I should have called Sanjeev earlier. Stavan said, sir, now I can't tell him. He wanted Stavan to speak with me, that Mr. Sinha wants to come and meet you, because he wasn't sure as to how I might respond. Stavan said, sir, I can't tell him now. Now you have to speak with him directly, because I must have told you a number of times. So we spoke and I said, please come down, I am at home. And that is when we connected and we decided to take issues ahead in the commission. Because he thought that I should be called by the commission and examined it, with the commission did on its own subsequently. So it's not a question of my being silent, my friend. I was waiting for my time. Being an intelligence officer, I could not have spoken out unless put under a binding legal obligation. This is something which all of us need to appreciate. In 2009, when the SIT summoned me for the first time, because I think when Mr. Prashant Bhushan went through the SIT report, in 2009, I had told the SIT that if you want to know the things which I am privy to as an intelligence officer, then you will have to record my statement under the CRPC and put me under a binding obligation, meaning whereby that the complaint of Mrs. Zakia Jafri should be treated as an FIR. I wanted that to be an FIR, because otherwise there was no question in a fishing inquiry where you just pluck wool here and there. I think that was observed by him and brought to the notice of the court that here is a gentleman who wants to depose, provided you take a statement under the CRPC. So then the court thought it fit, they directed their said that yes, you do that. And so again in 2011 they started recording my statement under some other offence, not that complaint, but a related offence. But they took my statement as the code of criminal procedure. So that is how the delay. But I came out with all the facts which I had, which I thought I should be conveying to that SIT in the form it was then, in 2009. So it took me 7 years, yes. But the question which comes to my mind is, why was I not called all these years? This is something which all of us, even activists, should address. Because when the first affidavit was filed before the Narenra Commission, the affidavit on behalf of the DG, on behalf of the ADG Intelligence, almost 70% of the annexures with the affidavit, all the reports of 27th, 28th, 1st, 2nd, they are all signed and authored by me. So at least the commission should have felt that they should call me and ask me a simple question that, Mr. Bhatt, have you authored these reports? Is this your signature? Even they didn't do that because they knew the moment I was called, I would speak out. So somehow they could manage not to call me, because I was very clear to tell my DG also, and in any meeting where we used to meet, I said that half the Gujarat IPS cadre needs to be hanged in public for their role in 2002. I still stick to that. So they knew that this is a man who should not be made to speak, come what may. And I had withdrawn completely from my police brotherhood since 2002. I never attended any police function, any ceremony, any gathering at the IPS mess. I felt I did not belong there at all. And I still have the same feeling. So that is the deal.
There is one correcting.
Please.
There is one correcting. That the place you told that Jamnagar, where that offence was happened, and that Sanjiv Bhatt told you not to look the offenders in the certain section, then immediately being transferred. So what you did after that, whether you ensured that those persons being booked under just such charges, you being a complainant, went to the court, or have you ever raised this question at any forum? You say you are a human rights defender.
Which question?
That case you were posted as the riots happened, and that Sanjiv Bhatt told you so not book the offenders under the section. So have you ever, after that, for that offence, for any other offence, have you, and you are saying you are an IB officer or whatsoever, but what stops you from writing a letter to the President of India, Prime Minister of India, Chief Justice of India? Have you ever said this? And number two, I'll say that you are saying that police are the front-line defenders of human rights. I'm sorry to say this, and nobody I think in this room will agree with you. Police is the front-line violators of the human rights.
What I'm saying is the police is supposed to be the first line of defense. The state and the police, they are